Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start off really quick by saying thank you very much to all of the very kind comments that you left on yesterday's video about Victor and Brenna's baby, my new grandchild, Michael, coming into the world on the 1st of June, 2 days ago. So thank you very much. It is very much appreciated. I think that those comments will go into Victor and Brenna and Michael's history, and one day little Michael will be able to see people what people left on the comments, and I think it's great. So thank you so much. You know, I can't wait. We're giving Victor and Brenna and Michael a couple of days. They just made it home, and then we're gonna start bugging them as much as we can to come over, or us going over there, because it's gonna be awesome. But right now they're recovering. The great news is that Brenna had a very, very good I guess you call it labor. When she went into labor, it was very good, no complications. And when I went to the hospital to visit, when me and my family went to the hospital to visit, I was like, Brenna, you look so good. You know, like sometimes when a woman comes out of labor, they look beat up, you know, but she looked vibrant, she looked great. So anyways, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I have so many stories to cover today. I'm going to try to cover a couple on this video, and then I'm going to do another video later on, because these are things that I feel are important, and then I'm going to save one for this afternoon's live stream. All right, so that we can talk about it then. But ladies and gentlemen, when they are telling you here is why food shortages are unlikely to occur in the US, when the mainstream media is telling you that, what does that mean? It means that you need to put your preparedness plan into high gear. And for those that are going to say, well, food shortages really aren't here, it's just the price of food going up. Well, that's economics 101, ladies and gentlemen. When there is a shortage of something, the price goes up. When there is more demand of something than there is, that means that there is a shortage of that something and prices go up. The thing is that I feel, along with a lot of other people who are a lot smarter than me, by the way, feel that these shortages are going to get incrementally worse as time goes on. So the time to prepare is now. So like we said here, CNBC says, here's why food shortages are unlikely to occur in the United States. And I'm only going to skim through this article, ladies and gentlemen, but as always, I will leave the link to everything that I look at here on a pinned comment. Okay? Here it says, food prices in the United States are rising at historic rates, while food prices for commodities like wheat and corn are at their highest levels in a decade. What's more, the U.S. Department of Agriculture predicts that food at home prices will see an increase of up to 4% by the end of 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, right now food prices at home food prices, I believe, are at about like 8 or 9%. And this article is about a month old. Okay, this article is from mid-April, about a month and a half old. All right, so that is what I say. Even when I tell you something on here, go do your own research. When these mainstream media pundits tell you stuff, then you definitely have to take it with a grain of salt. Despite the prospect of continued rising prices, however, experts don't expect food shortages to occur in the United States. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've been hearing that energy prices like electricity, you know, is going to go up significantly this summer. Why is that? Why are energy prices going to go up significantly this summer in a lot of places in the United States? Why? Because there's going to be heat waves. And when there's heat waves, what happens? People need more energy, more electricity. The more electricity that people need, the less that there is for everyone else to use. So prices go up. It's the same thing with food. Okay, you have to think about it that way, because one day you're going to find yourselves paying 15 bucks, 17 bucks for a loaf of bread. And the reason for that, on top of it being inflation, all right, because of the money printing, it will be because there is a shortage of that item. If there was an abundance of wheat and bread in the world, do you think that prices would go up or down? Ask yourselves that question when you read articles like these. And they continue to say, we may see some shelves that are empty for various kinds of food products, like we have for a while now, as we recover from this health crisis, so be it. But I can say with some real confidence that the United States, the average consumer, is not going to see a shortage of bread because of what's going on in Ukraine. And I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%. We're not going to see a shortage of bread or flour or wheat because of what's going on in Ukraine. We're going to see it because of what's going on here in the United States, where so far our wheat planting season and our winter wheat season doesn't look so good. And we are only down to about 70 days. Now it's probably about 60 days of wheat worldwide. Meaning that if we have no wheat harvest come in at all, we have about 60 days of wheat left. If that's not a shortage, ladies and gentlemen, then really, I don't know what is. And since we're on the topic of shortages, here the baby formula shortage hits a record of 74%, where I think about 2 weeks ago it was only 50%. So as far as there not being shortages, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, take it with a grain of salt. If you're not prepping up now, you should be awake enough to be preparing for the shortages that will be coming. And I see that going on. I see people waking up somewhere in the summer and before fall. And by the time that this winter comes, ladies and gentlemen, I think that we will have the mainstream media actually admit, hey, we are having shortages. And the prices are going to be a lot more than what they are now. So prepare now while you can still get these things now. And when I'm talking about shortages, I'm not just talking about food. I'm talking about everything, ladies and gentlemen. Your prices are going to go up in everything. Let me ask you a quick question again. I'm trying to drive this point home. Let's say that you are used to spending $500 a month on groceries. Okay, so right now, $500 a month is good for you and your family to eat what you need and want on groceries. So now let's say that 3 months from now, 6 months from now, the groceries that you rely on every month, so what you spend $500 a month on today, is going to cost you $900 a month or $800 a month. Are you going to buy the same amount of groceries? If you can afford it, you would. But most people won't be able to afford to pay 50 to 100% more for their groceries 6 months from now than they do right now. So will there be a shortage in your home if prices go up? Meaning that if you go to the supermarket and the shelves are packed, but the prices are twice as much, if you cannot afford to pay double the price that you're paying now, 6 months from now, there will be a food shortage in your home. That is how you have to look at it. Because shortages are starting with prices first being elevated. And as I've stated previously, and many others have stated, that there will be scarcity starting next year in 2023. Let's hope that's wrong, but that's what I see coming down the line. So the reason I'm pulling up a couple of these articles here where it's showing you that there are shortages right now, today, and that they are being also forecasted into the future, is to show you that that article was put out, what, a couple of months ago, a month and a half ago? The one saying that there's not going to be any shortages of food in the United States. But here, a month later, a month and a half later, here we're getting just articles up the wazoo about shortages of this, shortages of that. As I've stated here, oh, by the way, Nutrient Survival is having a flash sale, which is today, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you use the AP15 code, you get 15% off. And they do have a specialty bucket that they allow me to make, which is the Alaska Prepper Payday Prep Bucket at a really good price. So if you're interested in freeze-dried foods, if you're in that part of your preparedness plan where you can buy freeze-dried foods, the link is in the description of the video. Remember, that flash sale of 15% off only goes through Sunday. They can only do that for so long. All right, ladies and gentlemen, but I digress. Let's get back to this. Right here, Hormel CEO warns large supply gaps for Jenny O turkey brand. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I haven't been able to find a turkey in the local area here for the last couple of months. I've been looking. And who knows, maybe the closer we get to Thanksgiving, the more that there will be. But we keep hearing about all of these turkeys and chickens that have been culled due to the, the influenza that's going around for birds, the bird virus that's going around, right? So I gave my friend Billy Bob over at Little Alaska Home Place a call because he lives south of me. And I was like, hey, Billy Bob, do you know of any turkeys or do you raise any turkeys? If you do, can I pay you to raise a turkey for me for Thanksgiving? He's like, I was at the store just yesterday and they had turkeys there. You want me to go pick you one up? I only live like 2 minutes from it. So he went and picked me up a turkey. And I'm going to get that turkey now, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm not sure what we're going to do this year to get turkeys for the food bank, but I have a feeling that they might be a little less abundant this year than they were last year. As you can see here, it says that 38 million birds in 35 states have been culled. And of that, we've got 2.5, so we got 4. We have about 5 million turkeys so far that have been called this year. And if you all remember, last year we had somewhat of a turkey shortage, but I think there was just enough to go around. All right, so this year it may be a little bit worse because of this bird flu that's going around. And I wanted to finish it off with this article right here, 18 signs that food shortages will get a lot worse as we head into the second half of 2022. All right, now this here is was published a couple of weeks ago by Mr. Mike Snyder, which I love that guy. I think he does great work. But I figure I'd go over this with you really quick instead of making it its own video. And it says here, of course, we all know a lot of this stuff that's going on, ladies and gentlemen, because it's common knowledge now. And number one is the largest fertilizer company on the entire planet is warning severe disruptions. And we all know that fertilizer equals food. And although we have had good plantings so far, I think that for the most part, our plantings have gone okay. Maybe a little bit late in some places, but okay. But what about that fertilizer? Without that fertilizer, our yields, even though we plant the same amount of acreage, the yields are going to be less. All in all, ladies and gentlemen, this is the time to prepare, okay? I mean, this is definitely the time to prepare. The world's fertilizer price index has skyrocketed, and we all know that fertilizer prices has gone up 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and in some cases up to 10 times more expensive, depending what part of the world you live in. It is being reported that global grain reserves have dropped. Right now, we're looking at about 60 days worth of wheat in the entire world, ladies and gentlemen. All of these points here that I'm pointing out, all of these things that I'm reading out, all of them should encourage you to go out and get prepared even more. Due to the war, agricultural exports from Ukraine have been completely paralyzed. As we know, Ukraine and Russia make up about 25% or so of the world's wheat and about 10 to 15% of the world's calories. Think about that. Put the wheat to the side. Think that Russia and Ukraine make up about 10 to 15% of all of the calories around the entire world. That's a big number, ladies and gentlemen. The out-of-stock rate for baby formula in the United States has now reached 40%. And this was a couple of weeks ago, and now we know that it's reached 72%. So almost 100% increase in the last couple of weeks. In 6 U.S. states, the out-of-stock rate of baby formula has risen to 50%. So you see, it just keeps going up. We'll probably see it going up and going up more. And they say here that searches for the phrase on how to make baby formulas has gone up 120%. We are being told that this is a perfect storm as shelves become increasingly bare at food banks all around the nation. We've discussed that in the past. Canada has called about 1.7 million chickens. In the United States, more than 37 million chickens and turkeys have been called. We just talked about that. The 2 largest reservoirs in California have both fallen below critical levels, affecting 2 things: their energy output and the water that is flowing to their residents, and more importantly, I would say, farmers. Some communities in Southern California won't be able to make it through this coming summer without significantly cutting back on their water usage, which they had already cut back significantly. So this is just another level of shortages. Many of the largest lakes around the world are currently in the process of disappearing because they are rapidly drying up. Wildfires continue to absolutely devastate agricultural land all across the western half of the United States. We all know that we are going through what is called a mega drought in the western half of the United States. It is a drought that is the worst that's been seen in the last 1,200 years, ladies and gentlemen. It's all a cycle. And since we know that it's a cycle, we know that it's going to continue to happen for a period of time. So prepare now so that we can make it to the other side of the crisis. We are being told that steak prices in the United States will keep rising in the days ahead. Due to a hail and frost, the Spanish apricot crop is going to be way below expectations. Overall, Spanish fruit production is expected to drop to the lowest in 40 years. And Kansas Senator Roger Marshall is openly warning that a horrifying worldwide famine is coming. Is this enough? Because if this is not enough, I have something else to show you. When food shortages become so severe, there are a lot of people that will do whatever it takes to get food, and they will turn to the state, to the government. But what does that food that the government gives you have in it, ladies and gentlemen. I am guilty of this. I need to get very serious about growing my own food, about my family growing our own food, raising our own animals, and time is ticking. So it is very important that we get on that bandwagon, I guess you can call it, because a lot of people are thinking the same thing. I just placed my wood order, and it should be here next week. So next week starts my busy season. No more being lazy and just hanging around the bunker all day. But look at this, ladies and gentlemen. And this is something they've been working on for a while. Okay, trust me. It says here that the future of vitamin shots may look more like eating a salad than getting a shot in the arm. UC Riverside, University of California, I believe, Riverside, scientists are studying whether they can turn edible plants like lettuce into vitamin shots. So this, I could have probably just done a video just on this alone, but I had so many things to cover that I wanted to make sure that I threw this in there and let you all go and take a look at it for yourselves. But this is something they've been working on, just like all of the other things, like the centrally banked digital currencies. They've already got another payment system in the back burner that they're ready to introduce whenever the right crisis arises, right, ladies and gentlemen? Never let a good crisis go to waste. So take a look at these articles. I recommend that you at least take a look at this one, because this is going to be coming. All right. Having said that, have a great day. Remember, we will have a live stream later on today at 2 p.m. Alaska time. And guess what? There's going to be a giveaway. I already know of it ahead of time. So there's going to be a giveaway during that live stream. So make sure that you join in. It's actually going to be an Alaska Prepper payday prep bucket that's going to be given away to someone in the live stream today. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope to see you all there. Other than that, remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place. And you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of your families. I'm Alaska Prepper, and I am out.